I will go back and forth between different topics. That way to keep everyone entertained. Some of this may be a little bit too advanced. Some of this will be beginner. So I will go back and forth. Now, our system, some features that help the users. Let me tell you a story. So when I first got into Pi dynamic testing, Kenny Hansen was my supervisor. And when I went to a job nearby, not too far from here, Chester Island, that was quite a long time ago. And obviously I was green, and I didn't realize what was the issue. The issue was one of the gates was loose. And when one of the gates was loose, slightly loose, not as bad, so, the wave up would not be smooth, and I saw some beta. So in this example, beta 100%, but I saw some beta which is maybe around 84%. So I was I freak out. I call Kenny, because this is a Setcheck, so not an initial Pi driving. Setcheck means in different part of the world, Setcheck means redrive to measure capacity for only a few blows. So so I saw beta, and I called Kenny, something wrong. The Pi, when I stopped Pi driving the other day, it was good. Now, just on the first blow, it's already kind of damaged. What happened? So Kenny then asked me to look around the data, and obviously at the time, no internet. And eventually you found out that one of the gates was loose. So this is example here. The top graph is F and VZ. So there's two options. When I click here, it will show F1, F2. F1 is red, F2 is blue. And let me go to different, we go to different blows. So the gauges here, you can see that gauge F2 have a little bit more spike than gauge number 1. And let me show different blows where they're a little bit more spiky. So if I go to different blow where a little bit spiky, here. So it's a little bit more spiky. The system knows that that gauge is loose. So so when it's like this, the system detects that the gauge is loose. It is acceptable. Okay, in this case, it's acceptable because when you view the wave up, so when you view the wave up from the top of the Pi to the toe of the Pi, the wave up is relatively smooth. David.
Yeah, sorry, I'm in the conference room here, logged in under Rashan's name. No, we just have a long history of dynamic testing. I would say, going back to the 1990s, I would submit that much. And we endeavored to improve upon various things that exist in the marketplace today. And so that is really the origin. We are a consulting firm, a construction services firm, a full service geotechnical firm, drill rigs and labs, but we have expertise in this area that goes back, nearly 3 decades. And so we thought the market and our practice could use a refresh. And so hence you have GPC with significant intuitive improvements, lower cost points, and other factors.
The GPC had 3 parts. The computer, which we can use any computer, any laptop, any tablet. But we configured in our tablet so that it's easier for the users. But any laptop will be okay. The second part is the transmission box, and the third part is the sensor. So this is our sensor, which is a combo sensor. So only 2 pieces, one on each side of the Pi. Each of these pieces has a stingers and accelerometers. So it's a combo. There's 2 holes putting on the Pi, and So it's really simple. The tail of the gauges is about 6 feet long. This gauge is here. The tail is about 6 feet or 2 meters long. That way, if you test bore, pie, or drill shaft, you can put this box on the ground. Put the gauges on the drill shaft, and the box can sit on the ground further away from the pie. For drill and pie, usually in our practice, we monitor from the beginning of the pie driving. Because of that, we hang it near the hammer. And you can see it on video number, let me open our video. So you can see it on our video number 3. Where the box, this is the box. The box is here. That is hanging from the hammer or from on the pie. Either way is okay, but preferably it would be hanging from the hammer. On the hammer, there's always some cable, some type of cable. Either the helmet cable or the pie is an angle here, or the pie cushion cable, so you can hang it on the hammer. So again, in our practice, we monitor the pie driving from the beginning to the end. So you drive all the way from the beginning to the end. So that's a brief introduction regarding our equipment. There's some small bump there, but it is relatively smooth from top to toe of the pie. So in this case, even though the F2 is loose, it's unsettled. But the systems indicate that the base is loose. So if I go to different blows, the spike is less. So what happened here? So this is not a bad case. This is where the ball may not be quite well tight, or the anchor itself. So when you do carpet pie, you drill and you put anchor, and the anchor itself may not be firm enough. And if it's not firm, if the anchor is not quite firm, there is no way to fix this unless you have to repunch the hole. So you have to repunch the hole to make the anchor firmer. But anyway, we go through the record here in this example. This is a mini pie. This pie is really small. It's just a different system here. So this pie is really short pie, 10 inches square, so it's really small pie. The hammer is an air hammer. Now some basic dynamic load testing. F can be different from each other because the load from the pie, from the hammer to the pie can be eccentric. So the hammer, for example, the hammer can put more force. In this case, for example, more force on the right side, for example, and assume that on the right is F1 and less force on the side number 2. In that case, F1 would be higher than F2. And when this ratio is really large, when this ratio between these two really large, typically you want to inform the contractor, hey, your hammer is not aligning well with your pie. You may need to do something to bring more force to the side number 2. But it is not too different. For example, in this case, the ratio is about 1.7, 1.6 approximately. It is okay. Now, when F1 is higher than F2, V1 would naturally be higher than V2 as well, but on a smaller degree. So if this is 60%, 70%, this is only like 5 or 7% difference on the V. So on V, you should expect V1 and V2 to be similar in always. So let me open another example where there's less eccentric force than V1 and V2 are exactly on top of each other. I don't remember which example. Let's see. Okay. So this F2 is slightly higher than F1. And as such, V2 is slightly higher than V1 as well. But look, V2 and V1 looks exactly the same. If you want to change different blows, you just type directly here. For example, if I go to blow number 10, hit 10, and see, V1, V2 looks exactly the same. That's the way it's supposed to be. And the eccentricity in this example is very small. To do different blows, you can do that, or you can just click here. So click on the place here, on different graph. Hold on, I got a text message, let me see. So you can do different blows here, or you can use the paste down and paste up. So I'm pressing paste down on my keyboard. So right now I'm pressing paste down and it's going downward per the graph, per the plot here. And when I hit paste up, it will go upward on that graph. And on this vertical plot, you have resistance. So paste method and signal matching method. So this is instant signal matching results. And on this graph, on every single graph, if you put the mouse over it, you will see more information. For example, here you see this is supposed to be the toe reflection, and this is T0, and it will be more easy to understand on this graph there. So toe reflection, T0, valley, and over here, if you put the mouse over there, you see that the black is tensor stress, red is compressive stress at the top, and green is compressive stress at the toe. I'm going to, let me see how many minutes is that. 15 minutes, okay. I'm going to have a 15-minute break, and then when we resume, I will present more details on different example, different N-GAPA, the signal matching N-GAPA details. And if anyone is interested in sending me PDA or W15 to challenge me to run signal match on your data, feel free to do so. So see you back in about 15 minutes. Thank you. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Anyone have questions? I'm really sorry. Anyone has questions, comments? Yes, I do. Yes, please. Could you just give us a few minutes description of your company, where you are located? Oh, okay. Experience. Okay, so we originally were Williams Earth Sciences. Was founded in 1972 as Williams Earth Sciences. and we have gone through different names. In the beginning, it was Williams and Associates and Williams Earth Sciences. And then Gary Fleming acquired us in 2009. And then in 2015, we broke away from 2016. I'm sorry, 2016 we broke away from Gary Fleming and became S2R Core. My name is Ty, and I was working alongside with Dr. Dobo off and on since 2012. And this is pictures of me and him in 2012. At the time, he would be 70. What is that? So in 2017, he passed away in 2017 when he was 88. So 5 years before that, 83 years old. I was working off and on with him since 2012, and in 2016, we acquired his business. I will actually present more regarding our relationship with him, with Dr. Lobo, and with the teams after our break. Ty, one question. This is one question, Ty. Can your software work with data from PDI gauges, or they're not compatible? Jordan, do you want to challenge? Jordan is working on that. Yes, we can interface with some PDI gauges. We're limited to the piezo-resistive type. Our data acquisition system can't handle the electric type, but those are kind of falling out of favor anyways. We really find more and more people using the PRs. That would include the NGAPA and matching software? Right, so it's kind of like unofficial support when we hook the gauges up. Sorry, let me interrupt. So, Juan, maybe we misunderstood your question, but when I heard your question, I thought you asked if our system can use PDI gauges. So the answer, Jordan's answer was, yes, we can use PDI strain gauges and PR isometers. No, my question is, if you get raw data from PDA, can you use it? So that's a different question, yes. So when we first heard your question, we misunderstood. So what Jordan was working on is our systems and use PDI gauges for whoever, which is good, that was great. Whoever wants to reuse the gauges, reuse their existing gauges, because a lot of people already have existing gauges. But the raw data, let's say you get raw data from so now we understand your question, sir. We can work indirectly with PDI data, not directly. So whoever has the PDI data, we can use it blow per blow, not the whole drive. And so the data need to be exported blow per blow. So only one blow at a time. And yes, we can use it. You could get a blow for PDA and then analyze it in UGAP and GAPA and yes, we can compare the CAPA that you would get from PDA, right? Right. Yes, we can do that. But on a system. I'm thinking about in terms of comparing apples with apples. I mean, it just gives you software is kind of pretty much producing the same result as the CAPA. Anyway, that was this one blow. That's all we need. I mean, I see for comparison purposes, in my opinion. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, I have a question. Yes. What about the other way around? Can your data logged and collected with your system be saved in a format that can be opened by a PDI software for analysis? Because there are many users who are very skilled and used to that software. Right. No, the answer is no, and we don't want that to be the case because our software, even though we understand that PDI dominate the world market, PDI is everywhere in the world, but our software, our program, are much better than theirs. Much better. On a scale from 1 to 10, I will be 10 and there will be like 5. Saying that some users might want to try their collected data by both options before they do the transition to yours. So can I jump in on this one? Yes. Sure. So our data is written in a format that you can open with just about any software on your computer. So like Microsoft Excel can open it. We don't lock down our data in like a binary file where you can't open it, but PDI would have to. I'm sorry. So if anyone want to use our data blow per blow, so it's similar to PDI. It will be blow per blow. So for example here, you right click, auto scale X, so it shows everything. Auto scale, and then you do this. Export to Excel or export to clipboard. So when you export this, anyone can use it on their own. But that would be on their system. So we only support to this point. Right, that's where I was going with that, is you can get the data out of our system just fine and open it anywhere, but PDI would have to provide the support to you to work with our data. So it's kind of, the ball is in their court as far as supporting our data. Right. So we don't lock the data down from you using it, but they would have to provide the software to use it. So when I press here, that's the record FNV, and I can do the same thing down here. So that's the support that we provide, and whoever wants to use ours, the blow per blows like that. Same thing with PDI. PDI allows export blow per blow that we can use. All right, let's take about, let's say 10 minutes break then. And we'll see you back in about 10 minutes. Thank you. Yes, just curiosity. So that's why I guess the using data from one blow from PDA can be run here, right? Yes. Okay, that's good. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? 10:45, let's resume at 10:55. The contractor is about to climb up the pile. Maybe in about 5 or 10 minutes the contractor will climb up the pile to attach the cages, and we'll see the screen at a time. Let me, so back to this, some basic part for GPC here. The red one is wave up, which is F minus V divided by 2. For some of you, you really don't need to know. This is important that the wave up needs to be smooth from T0 mark to the toe mark. That's all. So from T0 to the toe mark, the wave up needs to be relatively smooth. Either smooth up or smooth down is okay. If it's smoothing down is okay, as long as no bump. So let me open let's see, there's a soft drive here. So there's no soft drive here, but if it's really soft drive, the wave up would be the wave up would be dipping down. Let me see if I have such example. I don't remember which one. Let's just open this one. No, it's not. Let's see about this. No, it's not. So maybe there's no. Oh, here maybe. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it's smooth down from top of the pie to the toe of the pie. Relatively smooth. Relatively smooth. So in the case of sloping down like this, in some of the blows it will show beta. Don't worry about that. Okay. So in this case, it's relatively smooth from top of the pie to toe of the pie. Then you don't have to worry about beta. You worry about beta if it has some sudden drop. So let me go to the next blow to see beta disappear. I need to undeck auto scale. So that if I go, then change. So it's still showing beta here and beta, and here. What happens? I don't want to show the taskbar. What happened to the taskbar here? Why? It's okay. There you go. Beta 91%. So when beta is not serious, the beta value will not show up what degree. So for example, here it shows up the number because it's less than, I believe, I don't remember what I put in my program, maybe less than 90%. Now the grading is if beta is less than 80, you have to worry about beta. But again, it's relatively smooth from top of the pie to toe of the pie, so you don't have to worry about beta. Now why it's sloped down? It's sloping down only in diesel hammer case. Diesel hammer case in soft drive. It will never happen on air or hydraulic hammer. Why? Because on air or hydraulic hammer, the force, the initial force is always zero, and the impact is sharp. So the impact is really sharp without any pre-compression gas. So for this diesel hammer, it has pre-compression gas, and this pre-compression gas will trigger the reflections along the pie. If you want to go deeper, I can explain deeper, but let me just say that's simple. So this is a diesel hammer, which the impact is already, this is a low energy blow, so the peak force is only 300 kips here, and the pre-compression gas is already up to like 100 kips. So pre-compression gas force is really last in this case, is 30% of the total force. So you always have to make sure that the wave up is relatively smooth from top of the pie to the toe of the pie. It can have some bump if the pie has splices. So I would present that in another segment. Now the blue line is the displacement. A lot of time during drive you don't need to see this, so you can just turn off the D. Now the D is going out of the screen because initially your viewing screen is like this. Now when it's out, if you want to see everything, you can just hit F5 or click this. Okay, click this and back, so you should see everything. Okay. This is the site computer or the job site. The internet speed over there is really slow. As you see here, download speed is only 0.09 megabit per second. Upload speed is this. So because of this, the slow speed, you may see some lag in the quality of the videos. So what we see on the screen right now is the gauges, and sometimes you see the noise because the workers are in the process, I believe, in the process of climbing up the pie. I will text Omar now so that he can join the team and point his other phone to the hammer. But still, our site computer is connected to a phone, which, as I showed you earlier, the speed was only, let's see, let me go back to that. It's very slow because of the site computer speed. Where is it now? You have to do alternate tab. It's very slow on the site here. See, the speed of the site, internet of the site is very slow. So because of that, the quality of the transmission from the site to me sometimes may be interrupted. But the transmission from me to you would always be perfect because I'm sitting in my office. Anyway, as the worker is climbing up the pie, the gauge would be vibrating, and that is what happened right now here. The gauge is vibrating as they are climbing up, and when they are attaching the gauge, you will see that on one side of the pie, there's some spike, and the other one has no spike. So my guess is they are climbing the pie right now because both sides are showing the vibration.
So this is the site computer, and this is my computer, so that I can present both at the same time. Okay, so let me show you some really bad data, really bad data. Loose F1 data quality not suitable for products. So this it was intentionally bad so that we can gauge different messages there. So in this drive, we intended to be bad. Now, obviously, you don't want to use this bad data for products. So in per ASTM, you never allow to use only one sensor, one strain gauge sensor. You are allowed to use one accelerometer, but you have to use two strain gauge data. So for this data set, you have F1 really loose, and because of that, I turn off F1. So you see here, F1 is off, and it's say use both F as soon as possible. So so on during the Pi driving, you see those kind of messages which help you. Now our program, when it's extremely loose, it will turn off by itself. It will turn off by itself, and it will say this. If it's slightly loose, it allows the user to keep, but it will display different messages. So let me show you. Actually, I did show you 2 days ago, but let me represent this. So right now the filter point for F is on. Let me change it to 0, so no filter at all. Change to 0, and I can use either this and following blows, or all blows. It will be the same as now, because the reason is because this is blow number 1. So if I use this and the following blows, it will be the same. So I click OK, and I can click cancel right away. Why I click cancel? This, I want to save time. I don't want to realize everything, because I want to do this as well. So I want to turn on F for every blows. Okay. So now I let the system run. So when I do that, you see that on some of the blows, you will see this F1 lows bad, fix as soon as possible. So that this help the users on site, especially the green one, with troubleshooting what is the problem. And we go to blow number 2 with same message. Blow number 3. Now blow number 3 was extremely loose, and the program turned off F1. It does not allow F1 to be used. So for this blow, if I intentionally force it to be on, it will not be on. So whatever I do, it will be turned off by itself, because it's too bad. So despite whatever I do, it will be off. Now let me go up to, this is blow number 4. Let me go up to blow number 3, where the program allows F to be used, and let me see the wave up. So the wave up from T0 to toe, it has bumpy. It has bump, and that is because of the loose case. Now the degree of the bump is bad. It's pretty bad, but the system thinks that is not that serious, that the system need to turn off one of the F yet. So it looks bad. Let me change the this filter point, so average point for this blows, and see what happened here. So that's what happened when I filter. So when I filter, it still look bad, obviously, because it's still bumpy, but looks relatively reasonable. Now, in this case, it's sloping down. 2 reasons. One, no, actually, it's just one reason, because the pre-compression force here is really small. So the pre-compression force is here really small. It would not affect that downward that much, because the pre-compression force here is not that large compared to the peak force. So peak force is 1300, and pre-compression is maybe 100. So it's minor. So when you compare, you always compare this relative to the peak. So it's small. So if with the pre-compression gas, it may dip down, but not that much. The reason it dipped down in this case, because the pi is non-uniform. This pi has a displays 30 inches square pie with a void, with an 18 inches circular void. That's the reasons for this, for the waiver to dip down. Let me.
So the outer LP here. Oh, you don't need to listen to me, okay? Just focus on what you are doing. You don't need to listen to me. I'm presenting to the audience here, so you don't need to listen to me. The auto LP here, right now, it's simulation. It's not, as soon as the first blow happens, it will turn to straight 55. But right now, it's simulation. In the future, we will have displacement device that measure the displacement, so that the LP, the back pie penetration, will be automatically recorded. Now, why don't you use the displacements in GPC for this? The reason is the displacements in dynamic load testing is not directly measured. It is measured indirectly through accelerometers. So accelerometers, you have to integrate one time to get the velocity, and from beginning of the record to the end of the record, you have between 2,000 to 5,000 data points. And with very minor electrical noise, it will cause somewhat accumulated error to the velocity. Now you integrate velocity for those 2,000 to 5,000 points again, and then you have displacement. You need to click that. So the final displacement from the dynamic load testing based on the accelerometer is not always reliable because of that, because of double integration. What about the velocity record? So if I'm saying that because of integration has errors, what about the velocity? Is it reliable? Yes, it is. It's reliable because from the point 0 to this point, it's only like 100 data points. So the picture, I have 300 data points to the most. So the first integration is the velocity. It has only 300 data points to the pick there, and that's the important thing. Now, all the way to the end, that is 2,000 to 5,000 data points. That's when the okay, no, let's go back here. The guys, that's the first blow. So first blow, let me hit the auto waste speed auto detect, and now detect the waste speed as 14,436. The graph doesn't show anything here because this is the first data point. There you go. Here. Okay, that's second blows. So with diesel hammer, in the soft drive, that's what happened. In the soft soil, the diesel hammer would not fire right away. The hammer just stall until it has some resistance, and the hammer is kind of warm up, then it will run continuously. Right now, you can call it as a dry fire. And you hit the auto detect, okay? So that's all number 3. You take a slightly less waste than earlier, and I like this better. It's a little bit better than this one. It matches better, a little bit better. So for now, I'm going to keep this number. And I'm going to wait for the contractor to. By the way, whenever I do something to change the system, this button will pop up. It allows me to click. So right now, it's only 3 blows. It's really fast. Like quick realize. It's just 3 blows. It realize 3 blows. And if I don't change the key parameters is like waste speeds, what else? AC, and this button will never pop up because all the parameters are not influencing it. So that's why this button is right now disabled. Waiting on the contractor to raise the RAM ups and hit the pop button. Now, max rating 2.27, signal matching 124 kicks. And right now, so you have the pace method is slightly less than the signal matching. I'm not going to change the pace. AC here is really not important. So this is outdated method. The pace method is outdated. Along the drive, each soil layer will and depend on the hammer energy. It will have different DC. So DC is not constant along the pie driving. So I'm not going to change the DC yet. I turn the volume up a little bit so we can hammer. Now on site, OMA has 2 ways to enter the next LP. You can just click LP plus or on keyboard to hit the N key. So whenever the next footmark, he will do that. He will hit either LP plus or the N key. The stress here, sensor stress. What happened to OMA camera? Maybe his other phone lose signal. Because this side is middle of nowhere. This job side is really middle of nowhere. And this is the high rebound per blow. So when you see this, don't freak out, okay? Nowadays, a lot of people are worrying about rebound. Unnecessary worry. Why? So, for example, this blow number 4, rebound is 0.6 inches, which is high, but it's not. The reason is, let me turn on the displacement. So the maximum displacement is, in this case, is here. It's close to 1 inch. And from here to here is called pi rebound. That's the next blow. In soft drive, the pi moved down a lot, and it moved back somewhat. So, relatively, this rebound degree is not that serious. So when the rebound is like 80% or 90% of the movement, then it is true rebound. Because each blows, you always have rebound, regardless. When the pie moving a lot down, visibly, the inspector will not be able to differentiate the rebound visibly, because it moved down too much. If it moved down too much and move up some, then the inspector visibly would not be differentiate the magnitude of the pie rebound. But in this case, nothing to worry about regarding rebound. Omar, where is your camera? Okay, so driving is going on 56 feet, but Omar lost his signal on the other phone. So the wave speed looks pretty reasonable. You always detect wave speed early on. Okay, never detect wave speed when the pie has a lot of resistance. And this button will disappear soon. This button will disappear soon. But what I'm trying to say is wow, the stress is high. Tensile stress is high. So in this envelope here, you have tensile stress per case method, which is the blue line, and the tensile stress per the signal matching here. Now remember that per case method is the tensile stress envelope here. This is along the pi there from 0 to 96. 0 is at the gauges level, 96 is the pi toe, because the pi is 96 feet long. Oh my, it's back there. Okay. What happens to this message here? Let me try to see if I can disable this message. Okay. Oh, why you mute? You shouldn't mute. Oh, you shouldn't mute. Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay, just leave it there. 3 seconds to do your pi drawing. Don't worry about this then. Now, case method. The tensile envelope is only for the first 2 L over C signals. And because of that, it's not always accurate. Because it searches only for the first 2 L over C of the signal. We have here the compressive stress envelope. And if I click this, I see the skin friction distribution curve for this signal matching. This blows is really bad quality. With regard to signal match, not with regard to data quality. So see, this blows doesn't have a good match because I guess we can see later on why. But maybe because this blow is too soft. The stroke height is only 3.34 feet. Extremely low stroke, so this is about 1 meter. I'm not sure what's the situation on site. So this is when they stop pi driving because something on site. I'm not sure what. But because something on site, they stop pi driving, and obviously when they stop pi driving, the stroke height is being turned off here, and energy is less, and less energy, less mobilized resistance. So this is what happens. Less energy, less mobilized resistance. And during this drive, if you know that you're going to have like at least 2 or 3 minutes break, then you can click on GPC review to review the drive. I'm not sure if on site we have 2 or 3 minutes break or not. Omar. Can you hear me? Yes, sir. What is going on site? What is going on? I'm gonna find out what was going on. Okay, don't worry. It's gonna be fixing something on fixing something on the temperature. Checking the fuel setting. Okay, the handle was operating off. Let me click it. Omar, tell them that you need 1 minute, okay? Tell them that you need 1 minute. Okay. I click on GPC review, and it will review the drive, and I think what happened there earlier was that this tensile stress was too high, and maybe that's the reason they stop pi driving to check on this fuel setting. So let me go back. So when I go back, I click this, and it will turn to data acquisition. And I'm back to data acquisition here. You stand by, click to resume, so I have to click here, ready to receive the next blows. So on site, they are still checking on the fuel. Hammer fuel, I guess. And Omar phone lost connection. So while we are waiting for the contractors, let me keep describing. So on some of the blows here, the rebounds, in this mode, I'm not able to click on each hammer, okay, which blows. I can only click on different blows in the GPC review mode because I'm sitting in my office. I don't know what is going on the site. I don't want to click on GPC reviews and if the contractor is ready, then it is not good. So I want to stay in the acquisition mode. So whenever they resume driving, then we will see more blows. But again, this rebound is not important. Why? Because relatively to the maximum displacement, it is not like 80% or something. Okay, we will have to when we have model, we will study to see what percentage compared to the maximum displacement is considered to be a high rebound. So if it is only based on the rebound based on the absolute number, it is meaningless. You you have to compare to the maximum displacement for that blows. So this is the envelope for the last blows. Let me see if I can show you some other things here. By the way, while we are waiting on the contractors to see to whatever the problem on site, you have any questions, please? Any questions? Go ahead. So actually, I need to bring it here, right? Audience, do I need to bring this here? Because you can see, I guess you can see this on your end, right? You can see almost a camera on your end, right? Yes, right. Oh yeah. Okay, then let me rescale my screen so that you can see figures on my screen. So let me rescale. Okay. Okay. There you go. Okay. High tensile stress again. For the you see the high tensile stress pop-ups again earlier for these high blows. So I guess they will troubleshoot again. I guess. Okay. Do you have any questions? So here, one example here, I want to show you. So when you say max ready 100, that means the computer doesn't have enough time to do the signal match. So when the computer doesn't have enough time to do the signal match, it will take the resistance from the previous blow. So the previous blow, the signal matching resistance is 378 kV. And on the next blows here, the computer doesn't have enough time to do the signal match, and it will just take the previous number and put the max ready as 100. And back in the office, we can rerun this. Rerun this. I can show you later on. So rerun this signal match for all these blows. Actually, on the YouTube, I did show you. I did show you one example regarding such scenario where the computer doesn't have enough time for certain blows. In the field only. In the office, you can read, analyze. So in this blows here, compressive stress not available, tensile stress not available. It is because the computer doesn't compute. CS is the maximum compressive stress per signal matching for the whole length of the pi. So CS here is different than CSX. Okay, CSX is the pace method. Maximum compressive stress only at the base level. This is only at the base level. Whereas in this CS would be the maximum compressive stress for the whole pi. They are still troubleshooting whatever the problem on site. They are adding cushion because the tensile stress was too high. So let's click on pause. Alright, welcome back everyone. I'm going to present for only 10 or 15 minutes. The reason is the contractor is taking a lunch break. So the contractor will not be ready in about, I don't know, maybe half an hour. So I'm going to present only 10 or 15 minutes and then we'll take another break to wait for the contractor to come back because he's taking a long lunch break here. So if you search on Dr. Global using this keyword, you'll find more relevant information regarding later period of his life because he was with, in the beginning he was with Case Western University for 15 years. Then he left Case Western around 1990 and he went to University of Colorado, became the chairman of the civil engineering department of the University of Colorado. His team, his Global Pi Tech team at the time consists of 3 main players. Himself, Global, this gentleman here who still lives in Colorado, he is a telecommunications engineer. So he's not a civil engineer, he's a telecommunications engineer. Dr. Global himself is not a geotechnical engineer. Dr. Global is a structural engineer. And the third key person is, the third key person is Eric Stoffer. He is a structural engineer as well, and he participated in a couple of last structural engineering projects, including this reusable spacecraft prototype at the University of Colorado. That's the 3 key players there, and we took over the project in 2016. We took over the project in 2016. We redid everything. So you can see on video number 1. You can see here on video number 1.
The user interface at the time, and back then the signal matching was only for uniform pi, it didn't have a lot of features that we have nowadays. So nowadays our programs can handle much more than what Dr. Global had. We can handle all different type of uniform pi instantly during the driving. So this example again, it is bad quality, not suitable for any project. This is just an experiment to see different degrees of loose gauge, and it happened to be on a voided pi. And let me reopen the file so that my initial setting regarding what F is on, what off is. So let's see here. So again, the wave up, deep down. In this case, most because of the void, not because of the pre-compression gas, because the pre-compression gas is so small. And let's see how powerful the signal matching is for this voided pi. The data quality is bad. Okay, only one gauge is on, so it's not acceptable. But let's see the signal match here again. During the this in GAPA, generally you don't want to modify the acceleration, so it cancel. The match looks very nice here. Match quality 2.08, and the dip again here it matched the dip. It matched the dip nicely. Because of the change in impedance. So the change in impedance has been entered from the data acquisition part. So this is just what is from data acquisition part. So let me show the pi configuration first. Actually, let me bring up my YouTube. So my YouTube has a different example, not that example, but a different example. So it is solid from top to this, and then taper, the void taper, and then this is the circular void, 18 inches circular void, and taper and solid. So that is the configuration of the pi. And go back to the go back to this here. So solid section from start to 6 feet, and then taper sections from 6 feet to 6.733. So whatever showing here, it's showing 1 decimal, but whatever you enter, it will the program keep all the decimal you enter. So 6.7333 years, and then from 6.733 to 57.33 is the non-taper part, which is the voided section here, and then taper up, and then constant. I'll show you the model. So when you click print report, it will show what you enter. So what you enter is solid, taper, constant, taper, and then solid. And the model, obviously, it has to model per element. So this element has different impedance than this, just because the divisions of the elements is a different point. So, but basically it is taper down here and taper up here. If that's the case, let me just present the last 10 seconds then. So this different example here on the voided pi here, it matched nicely through the void there. Match quality 1.4. And again, in the world right now, there's no program that can handle non-uniform pi on the fly. Only us can handle non-uniform pi on the fly. Go back to this here. So This, let me see if this is very soft drive, obviously, very soft drive. So the much the information here is not quite useful. For example, static load test simulations, it shows that these ultimate capacity based on the static simulation is really low. So
this pie is 30 inches, which can be classified as last pie. Whenever the size of the pie is kind of in between last and small, we plot both lines. There is an offset small and there is an offset last. The user, the engineer, whoever uses it, have to do their own engineering adjustment to see use what offset. But if I use offset for the small size, then the ultimate capacity for this is only 80 kbps. If I use for last offset, it is 180 kbps for static load test. So soft drive, obviously, it's this is the case usually. The Davidson capacity is less than the single matching ultimate capacity. Because this is ultimate and this is normal. What is it? Nominal. So what's the difference between the small offset and large offset? So the small offset, let me turn off my speaker first. So the small offset is 0.15 plus D. I don't remember the equation, but D over 120, and this is different equation. So this last offset is applied for last pi diameter. Okay. Oh, I got you. No, thank you. Thanks. I think I got it. One is D over 30. I think the other one is 0.15 plus D over 120. Okay, thank you. And again, this pace method here, the pace method is don't go away. It's outdated results now, but it shows this pace results according to different damping factor. The damping factor is not only the soil parameter. It can be modified, especially on the hammer energy input and the pi type and pi length. So JC is highly dependent on the hammer input and pi length, and a little bit dependent on soil type. So the pace method is really outdated method. JC is not typically within 0.4 and 0.9 as most people think it is. Now, a lot of cases it fall into the range of 0.4, 0.9 just because the pi configurations happen to be within the common pi driving practice. For example, pi size from 18 to 24 inches and pi length from 50 to 100 feet. But if the pi size and pi length are way out of that normal range, and the pi type is not, for example, a steel pi. So steel pi always have higher pace damping, driven in the same soil. Driven in the same soil, steel pi always have higher pace damping than the concrete pies driven at the same job site, the same soil location. So when you have a lot of skin friction, then when changing the skin damping will make a big difference. But in this case, it does not because no skin friction here. Skin quake. Again, you don't have to put constant skin quake. You can enter individual skin quake here. Skin unloading quake. And on the last row is the toe. It's the toe row. And on situation where you have secondary toe, you can put the second toe, extra toe location here, and it will show two lines for the toe. Additional node parameter table. This is a voided pi, and the VI has been modeled according to the user input. If the pi has a splice or crack, the user can change the VI on the elements to reflect either the splice or the crack. Again, you can find information on the YouTube channel. Here, you have different examples. Like example 1 steel pi with 3 splices that is added impedance. And on this example, the single pi, it would be extra toe, is a secondary toe. And I don't have an example for the slack here, but I can put an example of slack in a few weeks. I have a good example regarding the slack, I'll put it in a few weeks. Slack is a pi splice model. For pi splice, sometimes it is best to, yes, pi splice. Sometimes it's best to model impedance change. Sometimes slack, the users have to try to see which model is the best. Block weight. So on H pi and pi pi, the pi normally have block, the solid blocks along the pi. For concrete pi, you can have some block as well, most likely near the toe. So this is what happened. Draw on thin brush. So yeah, the pi is like this, for example. And there's a soil block going the soil, inside soil, going down with the pi as the pi is being driven. So this is this soil toe block. And this can affect the toe as well as some elements near the toe. So that's what, so that's the block weight. Slack is a little bit more advanced. Again, I will post a video regarding the slack in a few weeks. The mass ready tap, you really don't need to use it. This is for training only. So different unloading level will have different mass quality and different quake, sharp quake, toe quake, unloading toe quake will have different mass quality and different locale. So this is just for earlier. This method we see earlier. So let's close this. We back to that what I'm using as a reference. GPC. You understand what I'm using as a reference. Some minor damage. So in the beginning of this drive, the toe reflection is perfectly at the 2 LOC line. And as you go down, it's still good. Toe reflection is good. The stress to that point, compressive stress, tensile stress, compressive stress at the top, all looks good. Now as we go down here, everything's still good. The compressive stress, tensile stress, everything's good. Toe reflection is the same point now. You start seeing some dip here, which you did not see earlier. Minor dip. With regard to the way back, minor dip there. So let me go back. So let it blow. It's dip and it rise up. So relatively, so it's very minor. Here it's coming now all the way from beginning to the end. So it's not really a dip. This is because of the gas compression's pressure. Let's keep going. So you can see the dip there. Toe reflection is still about the same point. And let's keep going. As we keep going, now the curve. So this is blow 191. Let me go back to blows 13. So 13. Overall waist speed 13,556. 191 is the same, will be the same here. So right now, we are still skipping the same overall waist speed. But you see that the toe has been delayed slightly. The toe has been delayed slightly. That is because along the pie, there has been a minor crack that is occurring. This is very minor. And if you keep going, you see the dip here is more serious. Now the 2 line, we start to see 2 line here. The thin line representing WS. The darker line representing WC. Now WC in this case is actually even slower, even around here. So this is the overall waist speed now. This is that WC is low compared to the original. So keep going. That's how to disappear. Okay, on the job side, the contract is ready.
Oh, hold on, Omar, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. You don't have to do this, okay? This is an existing file. You can open the session and resume. You don't have to make a new file. So you click this earlier, so you have to end the driving first. So open, and that will be this. So open that, and you can resume. That way, it's in one file, and all the informations are continuous. So go ahead, Omar.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so this is very nice features of GPC. For example, you have a few hour break or even a day or a couple of days break. You can resume on the same file with all the information already in there. You don't have to worry about the wrong waist speed because the waist speed has been determined beforehand. It is perfectly normal. As caution, we're going to replace the F2, but there's actually in this case there is no actual need because I just reviewed the file. It looks perfectly normal. Just that very minor electrical noise. And slow. Okay, so Omar found it. So what is it now? 41130. Okay. Apply. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that sorry. Oh, okay. So we are ready then. We are ready whenever the contractor is ready. Okay, wow, this is not good. Maybe we have the wrong calibration factor.
The one that you put new one still not good, so we're gonna use this one. This one is 41,134. So the one that you put there, you have the
I don't think it fits 34. Hold on. That's the one that has the picture of right here.
Yeah, it's ending with 30. No, the one is ending with 30 is the one that you put.
Yeah, this one I didn't put it because it don't fit on the box. This one don't fit on the box. It's different. This is different than the other one.
All of them are the same.
Yeah.
So you probably.
I couldn't get it on.
Yeah, but I can show you. You know, all of them are the same.
We try. We're gonna try. I couldn't get this one on. And then I put the other one on and it goes right in. So check it.
Sí, siempre mira de estas guías. Ajá. Tienes que cambiar el 41, el que termina en 130. Ajá.
So if you can see that it does have my chance, and all these all the blows have the F, both F on. All the blows have both F on. But we went very conservative and we changed it, and the replacement was not as good as the first one. It appeared that the velocity were not good, and so the gauges that Omar has is 41134. I'm going to take a little break. We're going to resume back at, let's say, 2:40. I talked too much this today, so I need to have a little break. All right, we found out some hiccup. So when the contractor bring the hammer down, they would need to remove the gauges, and when they brought the gauges down, the sensor was not as what it was. So let me show you the table. So this is the beginning. The first 2 rows was beginning. Whenever you stop and do the GPC review, it will create a new session. So at blow 55, we stop and did the GPC review, but blow 1 and blow 55, there was no change in gauges, and this is good. So 29, 511 29, 511 30, and then we decided to change side number 2. But the contractor, instead of replacing this, he replaced this by mistake. So he removed this out and put this in. Put this in on side number 1. But because we request this, so on the screen, what we see is this and this. So on the screen, what we see is 51129 and 41130 on the screen. But this stay, okay, number 2 stay because they never replace it. So that's what happens. So when I click this, it will reanalyze the whole drive. It takes a while. This reanalyze only case method, not the signal match. Signal match will take a little bit longer. On average, 1 blows in signal match will take about half a second. Half a second for 1 blows in signal match, whereas case method, 1 blow will take about 1/10 to 1/15 of a second. So earlier I asked Omar to have the gauges in his hand to troubleshoot, and we found out the error.
So they are done for today.
Okay.
They will resume tomorrow. They will resume tomorrow morning. We can look at 2 tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So you will go to stay there up there tonight, I guess.
Yeah, and I didn't know that, but yeah, I guess I'll stay here. Yeah.
Because apparently this layer is very thin. The resistance increase and it drop. So instead of risking keep driving and we may lose resistance furthermore, they decided to stop by driving and do a set check. Do a set check tomorrow or maybe another day to get whatever it has instead of keep driving, and you may end up having less resistance. So that's the decision was made, and that's the end of today. And that's a very long drive for one car.
Every graph, the default is auto scale Y. That way,
I guess we
graph
see
will be best fit for each individual blow.
Oh, by the way, any questions, please?
When you view different blows, the graph will be jumping because the scale auto change. If you don't want the scale to auto change, select a blow with a high amplitude, and then uncheck the auto scale and go back to blow number 1 And now you can view different blow without the scale jumping around. This blow 2230, the V2 is bad. Because of that, it auto turn off.